Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is a new show, the daily news show that I'm going to be doing every single day at 6 p.m., excluding the weekend, excluding Saturday and Sunday. I think we all need some rest to this. Let everything that I've spoken about in these episodes just to dissolve in your head and dissolve, etc. So this is a show where I'm going to be talking about all the major talking points in South African cricket. So I'm going to be talking to you about whatever comes up, whatever pops up on all news platforms, etc. So that's all I'm going to do. And I want like you guys to get involved in the comment section as well, of course, and talk about what you think about these particular news topics. So at first, we're going to talk about, as you can see in the title of this particular video, we're going to talk about the Mzansi Super League. Now, there was a story on ESPN Cricket Info that Firdaus Munda put together, where she spoke to Jacques Fowle about what's going to be happening with regards to the Mzansi Super League and whether we're going to still have an Mzansi Super League in this particular year with the whole coronavirus happening and everybody in lockdown and sport hasn't completely come back in South Africa yet. We're talking about whether we're going to still be having the Mzansi Super League around about in the November period where it normally takes place. Now, according to Cricket South Africa, the decision has been made that by mid-August, they're going to come to a decision on whether the Mzansi Super League is going to be played in its usual November-December window or later in the South Hemisphere summer. And obviously, they're going to be pushing to 2021 to accommodate some international cricket at home in the upcoming season. There's obviously some three main factors being looked at and whether the international travel will be permitted, etc. And that's the only time that they'll be able to do these things. So I'm going to pull up some comments from Jacques Fowle and what he said in the comment to of course, ESPN Cricket Info. He said there's still a lot of uncertainty with the coronavirus pandemic, and we need to be careful before we announce that something will happen, and then we may have to postpone it. To host the MSL, we probably need international travel to be permitted, and we can't start looking for a sponsor or trying to secure a broadcaster until we know when we will be hosting it. So that's the comments that have come out, and obviously we know that Mzansi Super League is about the strong contingency with regards to international players. We want to be able to have as many international players in the tournament as possible, and we're hoping that it will grow. We know about the postponements of, for example, the ICC World Cup. News broke today as well that there will be in 2021 will continue. The one in India will continue in 2021, and that Australia will be hosting the 2022 T20 World Cup. I still have a bit of concerns about the fact that they're going to have two World Cups so closely after each other. I think it should be spread out. I think maybe for T20s, if they want to have it short periods of time, maybe they should do it over a 2-year period and maybe not over a yearly period. I mean, that takes away the nostalgia of the tournament. It takes away the excitement of the tournament, I feel, for me. But that's up to you guys to decide. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think about that. But let's talk about the Mzansi Super League. I think that the Mzansi Super League is an incredible tournament for young talent especially. And obviously to give us young talent the opportunity to play against the best players that they can possibly play against. Now, we know the likes of, for example, Ben Dunk. We had the likes of Jason Roy, Chris Gale, Udana. We've had the likes of Wahab Riaz. So Wahab Riaz is an amazing person to be able, for these young players to be able to swing the ball, left arm bowler. It's something that they haven't been used to before. So the likes of the opposition players like Alvarena and Vian Libber and all those young players that played in the Mzansi Super League, they get to play and face this unfamiliar standard of cricket, which is quite unbelievable that we're seeing in the Mzansi Super League. So I would like to hear your comments, obviously, at the end of the show, and I'll come to them later. If you think what you think about this, whether you think that the Mzansi Super League should be kept and made this season or should be pushed to 2021 or whatever you guys think about that. We can move on to another news story that's broken as well. As we know that there's been some controversy and Cricket South Africa has obviously been under the pump with a lot of different things, but there's been something that has come out about Tami Solekile, who recently had a ban for match fixing. Now, the ban was for about 15 years, and it was quite a massive thing that happened in South African cricket. And recently, Tami Solekile has come out and spoken on on a podcast with Robert Marawa where he has dropped some names and he has made in his opinion about, or not his opinion, he's given his experience with regards to the whole debacle and everything that happened. Now, I'll give you some of the quotes of what he had to say. He said, "Firstly, I apologize to my family, my community, the sponsors, cricketing world, and most importantly, to the public for being implicated in match fixing. But I think people of South Africa deserve to know the truth and my story, which has been haunting me for the last 5 years. A lot of guys have been barking. It's now my time to bark. I'm here to speak the truth. The people of South Africa need to know the untold stories. I was very cooperative during the match fixing investigation. They came to my house. They searched my house. I gave them my bank details. They took my phone. Even today, though, they don't have any facts. They are clueless. I was told I took 400,000 at a casino in Johannesburg. I've been saying it in Johannesburg for 9 years. I've never been to the casino in Johannesburg. They claimed I took 75,000 at the Grand. The Grand is cameras everywhere. There was no signs that I took money there. I was accused of taking 300,000 at a garage in Durban. There are cameras all over the place. There was no sign of that. Again, I was accused of 100,000 and Santon. There was no sign of that. I will expose a lot of people, but not all of them. The investigation was not fair. So that is the main quotes that Tommy Salakile had to say about the whole match fixing scandal, and he's obviously banned. I'm not going to give an opinion on this one because it's quite a tricky one. There's a lot of different opinions with regards to that. I would like to hear what you guys have to say about it. But the only thing I want to say is that I think that maybe there is an opportunity for an investigation maybe to be open again. But obviously we know that Cricket South Africa has responded to this too. And I'm going to give you some quotes from the press release, which says that Cricket South Africa has noted with concern some of the unfolded allegations in the media by certain of the players banned for their part in the match-fixing scandal rising in 2015 Ram Slam competition. Contrary to the allegations that SACA carried out the investigation was carried out by CSA's anti-corruption unit under the guidance and authority of the retired Judge Bernard Ngopie, former Judge President of the North Gauteng and South Gauteng. A comprehensive investigation was carried out over approximately 18 months with the CSA anti-corruption unit acting in collaboration with and with the assistance of Judge Ngope, specialist external lawyers, the ICC, the BCCI, the Hawks, and an external digital forensics team. The CSA board has kept regularly updated on developments pertaining to the investigation. So they have stood by their ground and stood with their decision. So it is a very difficult thing. And yes, Ayanda, you're 100% correct. The bookkeepers are ruining cricket. The main thing about it is that I think we should just know that stay away from these things, guys. I mean, I know on Twitter it can be quite dangerous. People will engage with you on Twitter maybe and ask you questions. Just stay away from it as far as possible if they ask you any questions before match days, etc. So don't engage with these people and stay away as far as possible. Just trying to let you know about the story so that you guys know and are familiar with all the news stories that are happening, etc. I'm going to update you as well on something that is really exciting for us, and that is that I'll download the latest magazine. We have the latest magazine that has been released recently, and of course, it's the second edition. This one is about leadership and the power of leadership. We have some amazing conversations that we've had in this issue, especially about Ndane Fenikek and how she sets the standard of captaincy, and not only as a captain, as a leader in this country. I did a feature on her and I spoke about it and got a little bit of quotes from some of her teammates where they talk about what Dane means to them. And of course, I have an interview that I did with her at the last year's CSA awards, where she won Cricketer of the Year. And leadership is not a quality that it's only about captaincy. You can be a leader within every single form and in every shape. You can be a leader off the field, and of course on the field you can be a leader in the training camp, etc., etc., etc. So that is something that I wanna raise, and that's something that a theme that we wanted to talk about. So we show different views of this. So go and download our latest edition of the magazine. The first edition we headlined with Rassie van der Dussen, and we talk about the art of resilience and how perseverance and resilience can get you really to the top. So The link is at the bottom of the screen and it's in the description below if you guys want to get involved over there. So let's get into some of the comment section and some of the comments that you guys have given me right now. I see over here Zubair Abrams, it's actually a friend of mine. CSA anti-corruption shouldn't be put in the same sentence. That is quite a bold statement to make, of course. There is a lot of things that is happening at the moment, but I think we should all comment when we have more evidence. I think at the moment, with regards to the Tamiso Lakile information, he has been proven guilty at first, and that's foremost. He got the sentence, and now we need to, now that he's opened up a whole new can of worms, I think we have to wait for the information to come out on that side and wait for CSA's information to come out, look at it from both sides, and then write a story about it or talk about it, and then we can talk about it. Is there any chance the quota system in South Africa cricket? Is there any chance of ends of the quota system in South African cricket? Now, that's a topic for another day. I think that's something that we have to talk about in the podcast show. And we have to bring on a whole panelist to discuss that, because this is not a matter of opinion. I think the quota system is something that needs to stay in place, and it needs to, for the progression of South African cricket as a whole, until we're producing the amount of players of color that there are available to be able to pick on merit successfully on large pools. I think that the quota system in South African cricket should stay, but that's just my observation, in my opinion. I think you need to be impartial about it, and you need to really think about it from both perspectives and understand the history of South Africa for you to be able to make an opinion on with regards to the quota system. So that's something that we're going to be speaking about for a long period of time. I don't think those conversations are ever going to end, but thank you a lot for the comment, Anpreet. Ayandato, staying away from them must be tough for players that are on the fringe of national teams, because they offer players money that they will miss on if not selected. Yeah, that's a good point. It can be difficult, but we shouldn't be tempted by those temptations. I think if it spoils the game. It is considered cheating, so rather stay away, I guess. It's a difficult conversation to talk about. But guys, that's what we have for you today with regards to the news update. I mean, there's other news that we can speak about as well. As, for example, Owen Morgan, that's international news. Owen Morgan obviously becoming the captain to have hit the most sixes across all formats for his country as a captain. He overtook MS Dhoni. I mean, we were asked this in the SuperSport quiz, and they explained that to us. That was one of the questions, and I almost said MS Dhoni, and then we thought about it and we got some hints, and then we got the answer correct in the end, that it was Owen Morgan, because if you've been watching the latest series, you'll know that Owen Morgan has done that. Cool. Here's another question from Zubair. What is the turnover of under 19 SA cricket players making it into the open international level? So now at the moment, we're going to have to see, because there's been a whole change in South African cricket. South African cricket has changed tremendously over the last year, because obviously we know that a lot of experienced players have left. We've had this conversation in our podcast on Sundays, where there's been a large exit of players that have experience that have left. So we've got the likes of Dale Steyn that is retired from Test cricket. You've got the likes of Faf that's looking close to retiring, I think, in Test cricket. We've got the likes of Vernon Philander that's now gone. We've got the likes of Amla, AB de Villiers. All of them have left. So we're sitting with a very inexperienced side with regards to amount of matches played. So in order for these under 19 players to get an opportunity, I think this is the perfect period to let that happen. But I think it takes a very special breed of player to be able to move straight from his under 19 into international level. I mean, their mentality has to be right. The attitude has to be right. The training regime has to be right. Everything has to be perfect. So I think that in order for them to do that, they obviously have to have some experience playing against the best players in South Africa. And the only place they can do that is playing domestic cricket. So I think that if they're playing domestic cricket for a longer period of time, maybe 1 or 2 years, like we can see how Reiner van Tonde has made his transition. His transition has been almost seamless with regards to going from under 19, semi-pro, and then into franchise cricket. And he was top run scorer last season with 800 and odd runs. So it was and it wasn't even a full season. So it is phenomenal for youngsters to be able to get that opportunity to play at the franchise level before they get blooded in. We saw what happened to Vian Mulder. He was blooded into the into the team very soon and very early, and he got injuries, etc. But that's not with every player. Obviously, there are some players that are special that just step up in immediately. We can see how some the likes of Curtis Camphor moving to Ireland immediately into the side, playing well against England. So we're going to be doing an interview with Curtis to find out more about his journey. He confirmed with me today that he wants to do an interview with me. So I'm hopefully going to get that to you guys very, very soon. But guys, thanks a lot for coming to this new show. We're going to be streaming live every day at 6 p.m. Forgive me for all my mistakes. Forgive me if I've jumbled my words sometimes. I mean, it's obviously a very nerve-wracking thing to me to do that. Forgive me for the jersey. I know it's a very Harry Potter-like jersey. My mother knitted it for me, so I have to wear it, and it's exceptionally cold in Cape Town. So guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. Of course, you know what to do. Follow all the social media platforms at the bottom of the screen. Click the notification bell. Give your comments in the comment section below. Obviously, share it with all your friends. And I'll see you again on Monday. Same time, same place.